Hey, it's Heather here. I'm gonna go ahead and shoot a video and hopefully I won't get in any type of fucking trouble. Supposedly, or any type of fucking scolding. It's like 4:21 in the fucking morning. And like I've stated before in my previous videos, I used to work third shift if you're first time viewer, and so I'm used to being up at this hour and these times and everything. And it's really hard to get back on track when I don't have anything to keep me, motivated to get on a normal. And then I'm working like a late shift at my new job, even though I'm only part-time right now. And so that's just, and all that and everything. Holy shit, my neck is hurting so bad. It's like I went and tried to lay down from like 12 to 2 or whatever, and it's like I woke up and my neck's hurting, and it's like, and before that my neck was hurting slightly, but it's really hurting now, like really fucking bad. The thing is that I gotta work the next 2 days, so I'm just like, fuck my life. But anyways, I've done tried to shoot this fucking video twice. I shot one about 8 p.m., lost it, and then shot another at like 11 p.m., lost it. And then supposedly I lost it because supposedly my memory is full on my camera or whatever. But the thing is like it would show, no picture, like, and a timestamp. Like the hour and 6 minutes or what the fuck ever on both of them. So I'm like, why the fuck did it even take that and load that if it can't load any fucking thing? Something's not right. It's not making sense to me, and all kinds of other shit. And then that's even like, I went into my fucking Google Pictures or whatever, and I'm like, okay, I don't have a shared album, but yet it says like at the top, and I don't know why, it says search United States. So I was just like, huh? And then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. United States. Search. And I searched, and when I did, it pulled up like screenshots of me and EJ's text messages, which EJ's a girl that I fell in love with last year or the year before and shit and everything, and there was just a whole bunch of drama and shit and everything, and I'm just like, why is that there but my other photos aren't? And then I'm like, because I made an album out of it, but it's not a shared album. So why? And I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, I don't know, and I don't understand, and all kinds of shit. And that's the thing too. The first video that I shot around 8 p.m. or what the fuck ever, I shot it like literally right after I text my daughter. I found out the other day that my daughter, my parents took temporary custody of her, and they've had her for over a year if you're a first-time viewer and everything. But my baby girl is sick with the flu. My baby girl has never had the fucking flu, ever, ever, ever. And so I was like crying, feel really bad about that, all kinds of shit. And so I'm like texting her, even though she don't write me back. And I'm just telling her to take care of herself, and that I love her. And that if she needs me for anything, let me know. And that's on Messenger that I'm writing her. And then I get off there, like I exit out. I didn't log out, but I exited out of my fucking Messenger. And I went and started to shoot my YouTube video. Well, as I'm doing it, like YouTube, whenever you shoot a video, it shows the time up at the top, and it's counting. But it's like it kept pulling up, my service provider and like the battery, and it did that like 3 damn times while I was trying to shoot the video, and I'm like, what the fucking hell is going on? What the son of a bitch? Like, damn it, stop, And I'm just like, huh? And everything. And so anyways, then like 30 minutes into the first video, it's like Messenger has stopped working. And I'm like, and it's like, do you want to close the app or send feedback or what the fuck ever? And I'm just thinking to myself, the app should be fucking closed. What the fuck? And so I'm like, close app, while I'm shooting the video. And then I'm like, okay, it should be good. Shoot the video, and then I tried to upload it. Kept trying to upload it, kept trying to upload it, kept trying to upload it. It's not telling me why it's not uploading. Like I said, even when I upload it on YouTube, it's like it shows a blank, square or whatever, like where a photo would be, and then the time. And I'm like, what the fucking hell? So I tried to upload it like 3 damn times. And I know something's not right, and I'm just like, fuck, I don't know. So, anyways, then I'm like, well, I'll wait a while and see if it'll load, see if it'll pull up or whatever. So it didn't. So I was like, okay, I'll shoot another video. And then the same fucking thing. But then, when I do it that time or whatever, and that's the thing too, is I was trying to get Messenger to work in between. I was like, okay, YouTube's fucked, Messenger's fucked. Messenger fucked up YouTube, It interfered with it, and so I'm like, internet sucks, And I'm just like, whatever. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, well, let me try to get back on Messenger. So I tried to get on back on Messenger, and it wouldn't fucking load. It wouldn't fucking load. It wouldn't pull up anything. It just kept saying, the app was not responding. I kept trying to do that on and off for like an hour or two. I'm sitting here kind of having a little bit of a panic attack because I'm like, oh shit, my kid finally texts me, and it's like, yeah, or I don't feel good, mommy, or something, something that she normally would have said if she was home and stuff, or whatever. And I'm like, oh, she must have wrote me, and that's the reason it fucked up and all this, and so it tried to go off, as I was shooting the video. That's what I'm thinking. But I can't get Messenger to load. So I had to uninstall Messenger, reinstall it, and then find out, no, it ain't nothing. I didn't receive a message from anybody. So why the fuck is it trying to open when I'm shooting a goddamn YouTube video after I've exited the fuck out of it? So then I'm just like, whatever, fuck it, to hell with it. And then I tried to shoot another video, and whenever I tried to upload it, it's like, oh, your memory's full. So then I went to my memory, and my memory is, up under Google Pictures or whatever. And I'm sitting there and I'm selecting, all this shit to delete. But granted, it's only 15 items, but it's 15 videos, my previous videos from the past few days. Delete. They're not gone. Again. Delete. Not gone. Again. Delete. Not gone. What the fuck? Exit out of that. Okay. What the fuck? I don't know. Okay. Pull it back up. Delete. Again. Nothing. Delete. Again. Nothing. Select 2. Delete. They won't even take that. What the fuck? Okay. Maybe my trash can's full. Go to trash can. Empty trash can. Delete. Not working. Delete. Not working. Okay. Look it up on the internet. How to delete from device completely. Okay. Select. Go up here. Click that. Delete from device. Permanently delete, right? Because, hell, they're done uploaded on fucking YouTube. Like, I don't need them on my phone. Delete. Nothing. Cut my phone off, let it charge for an hour. Oh, and it didn't delete them. And I'm just like, maybe it's the network. So if I cut my phone off completely, then it'll help it to, like reboot, and everything. Leave my fucking phone off for a goddamn hour. Son of a bitch still won't do shit whenever I cut it back on. Still won't delete the fucking shit. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Son of a fucking bitch, So anyways, and if you say this, please don't think that like I talk this bad all the time and cuss this much all the time. I really don't. But anyways, so cut the phone back on, and I'm like, okay, let's try it again. Delete. Nope. Again. Delete. Nope. Again. Delete. Nope. And then I'm like, this is absurd. This is ridiculous. This is bullshit. Why is this not working? Oh my god. Cut my phone off again for another fucking 30 minutes. Then cut it back on again. And then I'm like, delete. Nothing. I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, delete 1. It deleted it. Okay, delete 1 again. It did it again. What the fucking hell? It's never done this. Delete 1 again. Okay, maybe I just have to delete them all individual because something has fucking happened. So I do that for like 4 or 5 of them, and then I hit on a day's worth, which is like 3 videos. I'm like, delete. And it deleted all 3 of those, so I'm like, okay. Just not numbers over 10? Like, what the fuck's the deal? Like, I don't know what the magic number is here. And then so I just deleted like in 2s and 3s to get rid of all the videos. And so now I'm here again trying to shoot this video. And I was like, I'm going to wait until it's like a decent hour, and wait until it's morning time right before I go to sleep and shoot the video. But I don't want to fucking do that. I wanted my video from last night. And so I'm not going to fucking do that. But anyways, so last night, or yesterday morning, if you will, I'm sitting here at like 12:30 a.m. and I get a text message from Jennifer. If you've ever watched my videos before, yeah, I used to refer to Jennifer as my friend until I did a video where I'm like, no friends don't exist, and stuff like that. And you'll see other videos where, like, I'm like, is she trying to play mind games with me? And then, like, I feel like everybody's trying to do that, so I'm just like, fuck. But anyways, and you also see my videos, me talking about how I feel harassed and all kinds of shit, and how I've, practically ruffled the feathers of everybody around me is the best way to word it. And I'm just like, hell, you did it to me first, and you're surprised I'm doing it back to you? Like, use your brain. Figure it out. Like, you can't come up to me and smack me in the face and expect me to not do something. I'm gonna smack you back. May not be when you expected it, but I'm going to. So anyways, and everybody always starts shit with me. Everybody wants to be like, she started shit with me. And I'm like, no, I didn't. I talked to you. I was respectful towards you. I asked you questions. I'm sorry that you're not used to people asking you questions, or that you're such a hoity-toity authority figure in your own life that you believe that questions is, like, that's them, trying to sneak and get away with, and you can't just answer them and be like, yes, no, it is what it is, or whatever. Instead, you have to take it as a threat. And then you shit talk behind the person's back, and then the person finds out, and then it's like, and then the person lets it slide, which is me. I let it slide, just keep sliding, all the shit talk. And then eventually I'm just like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm like, I'm done. And then y'all want to sit there and be like, I didn't, and you're mean, and I'm just like, what? And I'm like, who are you? What? So I'm just like, But anyways, sorry, a little bit of my other personality, if you will, but it's not really. Like, I don't have multiple personality disorder. I've learned to be a comedian and all kinds of shit, because that's how I've survived my life. But anyways, and I mean, I get that that's what kind of split personality disorder is and stuff like that, or even did, but anyway, I'm just a very animated person. But so anyways, so Jennifer texts me and she's like, hey, I got this dude over at my house and I want to go to bed, and I was wondering if you could drive him home. I'm like, okay. And if you've watched my previous videos, or if this is first time video for you, I just got my license in November. I'm 30 years old and just got my license, first time ever. I've not drove at night in a really long time. I've not drove her car at night for a very long distance, I guess is the best way to word it. And this guy lives kind of like on the outskirts, of our town, and I haven't been out that way in a really fucking long time. So I'm just like, this is gonna be fun, and, but, like sarcastically, but I'm just like, I can do it, whatever. And so I drive him there, and as we're driving there, it's like a 30-minute drive or whatever. And as I'm driving him there, like, we're talking, normal conversation, just trying to talk or whatever. And I get him to his house, and I actually passed his house, had to turn back around, go back to it and everything, dropped him off. And I'm fucking like, okay, where did he say, and he's like, just go to the stop sign here, turn a left, and go to that stop sign, turn a right, and you'll be back on the road that you said that and you can figure it out from there. And I'm like, okay, yeah, sure I can, and I'm thinking, I can't, but I'm thinking I will try, And so I pull out and I get to the first stop sign and I'm like, wait, did he say left or right? And then I'm like, fuck. And I'm like, which way was I driving when I came here? And then I'm like, fuck, I don't know, because I was too busy trying to just focus on staying in my lane, and speed limit and all that and talking to him, and I'm like, fuck, I don't know what the direction was. And so I traveled down the road in both directions. Like I went one way and then I turned around, went back the other way, and I think I turned around again. And then I just kept traveling until I found a gas station. I pulled over at the gas station. Then I pulled out my phone. Then it took me like 25 minutes to look up fucking directions on my damn phone because my phone was just lagging so bad. And then it started raining. And I was like, this is, like I was just like, great. But it didn't rain that bad. It just kind of sprinkled a little. And that's the thing too, is like, even before then, I had to turn around when he was in the car with me because we got a little bit down the road and see he had his phone on and he had his light on. And so I thought the inside lights was on because his phone was like kind of shining over that way. I thought they were just like down, like dim, like really low. And I was just like, ain't no big deal. I can see them still. I can see the gauges, like everything's good. And then he, cuts his phone off and I'm like, shit, and he's like, oh, he's like, the light should be over here somewhere. I haven't drove her car enough to know where the fuck them lights is at, the inside lights. And so I had to pull over and find the inside light, and stop and everything with him in the car. But anyways, so I got him home and I'm trying to find my way back and I get lost on the road. So I go this way, I have to turn around. I go that way, I have to turn around. And then, even before I got to the gas station, I actually kind of just slid over into somebody's entrance of their driveway and was sitting there and was like, where the fuck am I going? Should I keep going this way or should I keep going that way? Which way is going to be? Because I don't know the name of the fucking road that I'm on. Like, I couldn't read the road signs within, like, the time I looked at them. And I'm not going to slow down really slow and drive past them. Because I'm just not that, I don't know, type of person, I guess, or whatever. But anyways, so, get to the gas station, look up directions, and then I didn't even follow the directions, like, whenever I turned out, because, like, there was, like, a four-way, or whatever, or I don't know how many roads was there whenever you exited the gas station, but I was just like, fuck, I'm just going to go this way and hope that, and my phone, and there's no way to prop up my phone, so my phone's over here talking to me, giving me fucking directions, but I can't turn my head to look at my fucking phone, And so I'm just kind of listening to it, and every time there's a stop sign, I'm picking it up, and I'm like scrolling, and trying to figure out which directions. And then I finally get on a road that I know, and I'm like, okay, we're good, we're good. I know where the fuck I'm at. And then I'm like, shit. And then I'm like, I can't even follow the directions from the road that I know the directions it's giving me home because I've got to stop at a store because I've got to piss something god awful. I mean, I've done been out for like 45 minutes probably, or whatever, and then 20 minutes sitting at the gas station trying to get my fucking, I've done been out for like a fucking hour. So I'm just like, damn it, So I had to go to the store, pee, and then I finally came home. Came home, and she's my neighbor. Drop her car off at her house, come home, and then I'm like, fuck, I forgot my phone charger in her car, so I had to go back and get my phone charger. And, as I'm, like, coming back, and if you've watched my previous videos, I've sat here and talked about coincidences and how I feel harassed and how I feel like I'm living in hillbilly hell. And I've talked about my relationship with cops, if you will, and not, like, my relationship with them, but, like, I don't have a problem with cops for the majority, except for when I've called them out and they think it's, like, something that's not a big deal. When somebody calls you out, it's a big deal to them. It's their perspective. And when I called you out because, yeah, silverware and food was going missing from my house, when I had a neighbor that lived here that fucking hated me, yeah, it meant a lot to me. And it wasn't funny to me. And it wasn't funny to me when there were fucking beer bottles and shit in my fucking yard. Wasn't funny to me. Shouldn't have been. Really shouldn't have been. And I'm not saying that all of them were disrespectful, and I'm not even saying that they were like really disrespectful, but you could tell the ones that didn't care versus the ones that were respectful versus the ones that did care, or cared enough, for it to be something that, yeah, it doesn't involve them, but still, that's their job. Their job is to care, or whatever. But anyways, and then there was a lot of shit with my parents and all kinds of things, and I'm just like, I'm just like, ah. So anyways, so I get home, and it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, okay, let me let my dogs out, and, I mean, it's my first time driving at night in a really long time and everything, and I'm like, the speed limit, where's the speed marker sign, and what's the speed limit through here, and okay, 35, so I can probably be safe doing 40, or oh, it's 50, and I could probably be safe, doing this, and I don't know, like, like, I'm used to driving the interstate too is another thing. Like, I've drove the interstate probably more than I've drove regular roads, like, in all honesty. When I have drove in the past, it's like, oh, we're going to go from here to there. Okay, let's get on the interstates quicker. I've just always been an interstate person. But, anyways, so, dang on, I get home and I'm letting my dogs out after I go and get the phone charger. So, I had to go back to her house, get the phone charger and stuff. I let my dogs out. One of my dogs goes and piss. And then, they come back in. And I look up and there's a cop car that pulled over across the road from where I live. And it's just sitting there. And I'm like, did I do something wrong? Did I drive wrong? And like, I mean, granted, they're like 10 minutes behind me, I guess you'd say, but I'm like, did I drive wrong? Did I do something wrong? Like, and they seen me and then they followed me, and now they're just pulled over because they followed me to see if I was going to do something wrong. Then I didn't, so they couldn't, and I'm just like, because I never seen a cop car behind me, but then again, in all honesty, I mean, yeah, I was paying attention to what was behind me to a degree, but then again, not, like, I mean, if you don't see lights behind you, and you don't see a vehicle behind you, then you're not constantly looking in your rearview mirror, And so, anyways, I'm just like, come here to my dogs, and I'll put them in the house. And I'm like, maybe he's going to come over and say something to me, And so I sat out on my porch to see if he would come over and say anything, and he never did. And so I'm just like, okay. Well, me, I have a problem with authority figures and stuff because of the way I was raised and all kinds of shit like that. You want to hear more about that, you can watch my previous videos. I'm not trying to be a smartass. I'm just really tired, and I'm trying to get out everything that I lost in my 2 previous videos, and everything. But I kind of have a problem with authority figures, not in the way that, like, an authority figure will be like, da-da-da-da-da, and I'll be like, bam, like, nothing like that, but it's just like, psychological shit, and it's like, you can't, and you need to, and all this, and I'm just like, and I'm just like, and stuff, and, so anyways, and it's like that superiority complex that people have, whenever they're, like high and mighty, and got themselves on a pedestal, if you will. And so anyways, I see the cop there, and I sat outside on my porch for a few minutes. I'm like, is he gonna say something to me? And he never came over and said anything. And then he just drove off, and then I'm like, and it just made me feel weird. It made me feel really weird. Really, really weird. And more extremely weird under the circumstances of everything that I've been going through. Because I'm like, and that's the thing too, is like, whenever, okay, my kid's dad is a meth addict. When my daughter was 2, and my kid's dad cheated on me, and me and him was broke up. right before we broke up, when we were still dating or whatever, he come over like 2 times, and he's like, I need money for my lunch at work. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, let me run in the house. And this would be like after I hung out with him. I'm like, okay, let me run in the house. Let me go get, $20, whatever, And so I'd give him money, and I'd be like, here's your money, baby, for your lunch, or whatever. So he cheated on me with this girl that was also a meth head. And I don't like to fight with people. And people make choices in life and they gotta live with them. And so, me and this girl actually got to where we'd talk, And this girl actually was like, we can both date him. And I was like, no, not funny. I was like, no. But anyway, so she would call me whenever he would be gone, whenever they got into a fight, and be like, is he over there? And I'd be like, no, he's not. And so me and her got to talking. Well, one day she told me, because, he's been to prison, like once, twice, 3 times, something like that. He's been to jail a lot. He's a meth addict, And so she told me, yeah, what was it? I was telling her about, like, the last day that, like, me and him spent together when we was dating, kinda. And, like, he dropped me off, and he told me he needed money. And, like, I was like, okay, well, we get Ava, that's my daughter's name, out of the car and get her car seat out and just set it out here, and I'll carry it in later or whatever. And he's like, yeah, And, my dog's nose is whistling while she's sleeping. But, I was like, yeah, that's fine and everything. And, he was like, yeah, that's fine. And I'm like, okay, I'll run in and get the money for you. So I ran in and got $20 or however much money at that time. And it was never more than like 25. But anyways, I went in and got the money to give to him. And when I come out, my daughter is standing at the bottom of the stairs outside, just bawling her eyes out. And he's leaned up against the car just smoking a cigarette. Her biological father. And she's 2 years old, And I'm just like, and I run down the bottom of the stairs. I'm thinking my kid has fell or something, or that she just got stung or something, and that he hadn't noticed it yet. And I pick her up, and I'm like, it's okay, baby. And I'm like, what's wrong, and all that. And I'm like, why is she crying to him, And he's like, I don't know, I guess because you left her, And he's like, she's been crying for a minute. And I'm like, she's been crying, and you didn't even tend to her? You didn't even pick her up? You didn't even check on her, And he's like, well, I figured she'd be alright, and she wanted you, And I'm like, yeah, she wants me because you were in prison until she was 1.5 years old. And you haven't came around that much. And even though she knows you verbally as daddy, she still doesn't know you, Like, she literally knew him as daddy when he was still in prison, and we went to go visit him. Like, she just instinctively went over to him, and I was like, and she climbed up in his lap, and I was like, Ava, do you know who that is? And she's like, Daddy, and I was like, okay, smart kid, But, I had showed her pictures and told her who we was going to go see, but I didn't think she would know out of the crowd of other prisoners in there, kind of to a degree. But, anyways, so she's crying or whatever, and I was talking to this girl about it that he cheated on me with and shit or whatever, and she's like, oh, I know all about that day. And I'm like, you do? And she's like, yeah. She's like, as a matter of fact, she's like, the FBI or somebody's like, building a case against him, and they have a picture of y'all out in the yard when that happened. They have a picture of you picking her up and a picture of you handing him money. And I was just like, what the fuck? And then she even, like, told me that she knew what the inside of my parents' house that I was living in looked like. And she literally fucking described it. Scared the shit out of me. Even told me where the toy boxes were in my kids', like, area. I was just like, oh my fucking God, and everything. But anyways, so that was my first weird experience with cops or anything like that, other than when I went to go see him in prison. And the first time I went, and my baby was a newborn, and we like literally, she was born in May, and we went up there in July. I mean, not July, June. We went up there Father's Day. So my daughter was only, wasn't even, I mean, she was a newborn. And we're up there seeing him. And freaking hell, like, this cop comes out before the inmates come out. And he's like, "You're Adam's girl, aren't you?" And I was like, "Yes." And he's like, "I figured." And he's like, "Let me tell you." He's like, "That guy there," he's like, "he loves you more than anything on the face of the planet." He's like, "I have never seen somebody love somebody as much as he loves you." I mean, a cop told me that, and I was just like, okay. And he's like, "He talks about you all the time. He talks about the baby all the time. He's like, he loves you so much." And like my parents even thought that me and him were going to get married, And it's like, I don't do drugs. I don't do meth, and everything. And it's like, well, how do you get involved and stay with? They hang out with you when they're not high. That's how. Like, I mean, we'd go like weeks without seeing each other sometimes. But then there'd be like consecutive days for like 5 days in a row that we'd see each other, But anyways, so that was my first experience myself, like dealing with cops to a degree, other than a few times like dealing with my parents. But this is like a more leading into adult shit and like weirdness and stuff or whatever. So then I move here. I have a problem with the neighbor. Somebody's stealing food and silverware and dishes from my fucking house. I'm calling the cops out about that. Then there's beer cans in my fucking yard, and this neighbor kept calling the landlord and all kinds of shit on me. And landlord is like, "I don't get any complaints from anybody else about her. It's just you. Like, so you're going to have to fix your issue with her, whatever it is." And I'm like, "There is no, like," and she's like, and everything. And I mean, and the landlord actually kicked her out just like a year and a half ago. And the thing is this woman has a brother that she had spy on me. She spied on my sister to see what job my sister was working at. So that way she could go and shit talk me. My sister called my mom, told my mom everything that they said about me. I mean, it's just a whole bunch of drama shit. And I'm just like, fucking hell. And then my kid's dad, he has other kids. Well, his most recent baby mama or whatever, my newest job that I was working at, or not my newest job, not my job I have now, but my previous job before that or whatever, this girl comes in that's related to her and starts working there. And she doesn't tell me that she's related to her. And the thing is that this always happens. Any job that I go to, eventually, and I've only had a few jobs, eventually I bump into somebody that else knows him or has dated him, or is related to one of the baby mamas. And I'm just like, can I get the fuck away from y'all people? Like, holy shit, can I not get the fuck away from y'all people? But anyways, so, I'm sorry, it's just so much. I'm gonna die from pure, like, brain exhaustion because of shit. Like, if anything, this video needs to be labeled, "Why to never get involved with somebody that does drugs." Because if you get involved with somebody that does drugs, then everybody thinks that you do drugs too. Oh my god, I just depressed the shit out of myself, like, so bad. Like, I've been so depressed the past few days, it's been ridiculous. And I was actually in a really good mood today. I'll get into that in a minute, as to why. After the whole incident with the cop being across the street or whatever. But, sorry. It's like, oh, you're a bad person if you hang out with bad people, so stop hanging out with bad people. Okay. And you try to. And the thing is like, people ain't bad, and you hear about cops that, like, their parents were drug addicts and shit like that. It's like, so, why can't, I'm, but anyways, fuck, I don't want to cry. At least not on video. But, so anyways, the cops were kind of mean to me, I guess you'd say, for as far as my shit being stolen. And the thing is there's a business right next door, and it has a camera that catches the front of my condo, like, where I live. And so I'm like, can you not just see, can you not figure it out for me? And so it's like it's being manipulated and used for everything to make me look like I'm crazy, and shit. And the thing is like, my daughter can even attest to it, but then again, I guess, if I'm crazy and she's my kid, then that makes her crazy automatically. But my dad took us shopping for as far as dealing with the food going missing and shit like that. My dad took us shopping one day. And I bought a pack of pork chops. And the very next day I was like, that's what we're going to have for supper. And I was so, just like had my meal planned, and so we come home and I got off work early that day and we're coming home and I'm like, the pork chops will be thawed, in a couple hours if I lay them out right now. Is that what you want for supper? Since we got them yesterday and Papa took us to buy them, and my kids are like, yeah. Open the fucking freezer door and the whole goddamn pack of pork chops is missing. Gone. I slammed the damn door, and my kid just, and my kid done knew. My kid said, she like hung her head a little and she goes, they're gone, aren't they? I said, yeah. Because right before we had the pork chops going missing, we had like 2 pounds of hamburger meat, some steaks, some other pork chops. I mean, it was getting to the point where they were stealing our fucking meats out of our goddamn freezer. And so I was like, yeah, and she's like, and so, anyways, but I didn't call the cops out that day, because I called the cops out prior, like 2 weeks before the pork chops went missing, and they were like snickering, it's funny or what the fuck ever. It's not funny that somebody's coming in my fucking house while I'm gone. I don't give a shit if it's the goddamn landlord or a fucking sister or a goddamn mama or not. I don't give a shit who the fuck it is. It's not funny that they're gonna come in my goddamn house, kick my fucking dog in the fucking chest, make my dog have a fucking problem with people, make my other dog have a problem with people because they want to scream and yell at her, and steal goddamn food out of my fucking house. It's not fucking funny, man. It's not hilarious, okay? It's not a fucking joke to me. So anyways, my kid now has been gone. And that's the thing, is I got one cop that came out 2 or 3 times, same cop, about the situation dealing with stuff going missing from my house. And he told me flat out, he's like, I'm going to get an investigator involved, because that's what that girl said a long time ago when my kid was 2 about how they had pictures of me dealing with him or what the fuck ever. If That's the thing, too, is it's like, I feel like I'm being treated like I'm a criminal in my town, and I'm not. And I feel like I've always been being treated like that just because I hung out with him and just because I got along with my cousin, too, that did drugs. And I feel like I'm treated like a criminal because of it. And I'm just like, do you want to cut my fucking arm up? If you chop my arm off and take it and run lab tests on it, and it comes back, oh, she didn't do drugs, then would you believe me? Like, can you just get... And that's one reason. It's like, here's the YouTube videos. Like, I will show you, me every day. Me every day. As stable and weird and quirky as I am and everything. But this is me every day. Zoom in on my fucking eyes. See if I'm high as a kite, But anyways. I'm angry. Irritated. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I'm sad. I'm emotional. I'm hurt. I'm so hurt. About a lot of things. But, anyways, so that was going on. Then the cops got involved whenever me and my kid, because I stood up to my dad, and you can't stand up to my dad. My dad is a man, and you can't stand up to men, and men are better than women, and they know everything, and all that. So I got the cops called on me, dealing with my kid in my home. And I called the cops on my parents because they threatened me. I got a phone call. I called my mom one day, and I was like, come pick up this damn phone. Because they bought a phone for my kid. I was like, come pick up this damn phone, And she's like, let me let you go and I'll call you back or whatever. I was like, okay. She called back. She's like, your dad is coming to pick up the phone and Ava. Hell, fuck no, he ain't. That's my damn kid. What the fuck? No. And so I called the cops. So from there, they called the cops on me. And then my neighbor, co-worker, and the person that is my ride practically everywhere that I need to go, but then again not, because she's got her own mental shit, and she's kinda, in this, you gotta ask me repetitively, and right then and there if you need something and stuff, and her memory ain't good half the time, like, it's not great all the time either, but, anyways, and she's the one that, I drove the dude home for last night or what the fuck ever, because she's like, I want to go to bed. Will you drive him home? I'm like, I guess. And the thing is, she drove me to the bank so that way I could get my money, to pay my rent yesterday. But any fucking ways, sorry, I'm like having like, I don't want to say a brain lapse, but it's like I'm looking at the time and I'm like, hurry and say everything that you want to say. And I'm like trying to think how to say it all in the time that I got left on this video. And then I'm like, if I can't get it, I can't get it. And try to not stress about it. Try to stay calm. But, so anyways, cops got called on me. Then, my parents took temporary custody of my kid when I sent her over to spend the night. Spend her Christmas break with them. And then it's like, oh, you've got to do this, that, and that. You've got to go to parenting classes, you've got to go to counseling, and you've got to do this, so that way you can get her back. Okay, I went to counseling when I could, when I had a ride that cared enough and cared about that aspect of my life. This person that I'm dealing with right now doesn't care that much about that aspect of my life. And, so, anyways, they say that they do, and they say, well, if you ever want to go, let me know, tell me. And then I'm like, and I actually mentioned to him, I was like, hey, you want to take me to court, so that way I can figure out what the hell's going on about getting my kid back? And they was like, yeah, and then they never mentioned it again, and I was like, sometime this week, and I'm just going to wait, though, even longer. Like, I'm just going to wait another week or two, kind of go from there, dealing with that. But, or trying to push, be like, hey, today, now, so that way it's like, can we go? I've just got so much shit going on. But, anyways, when I was going to counseling, it's like, hey, here's the court. Parents took temporary custody of your kid. You have to have a mental health evaluation, and then you'll get your kid back. It's pretty much what, is going on, in my head, and what I'm practically told in court. Is like, this is what you have to do. They didn't set a time limit for when I got my kid back, granted. They didn't give a verbal time limit, but they're like, this is what you have to do. You have to go have a mental health evaluation done, and you have to go to counseling. So I went and did that. We went back to court, and then it's like, oh, now, this is where visitation's going to be. Okay, so I'm going to visitation. Still going to court. I mean, not court. Shit, I said court even then. Counseling. I'm still going to counseling. And then it's like, okay, you need to have your therapist subpoenaed and brought to court to testify. Okay. Try to do that, and then she doesn't want to go. You ever heard some stupid shit in all your fucking life? She don't want to go, so she has her people that she's fucking working for, the company or whatever, mistakenly or whatever, because her first name, is the same as somebody that moved to Tennessee. And so she can't be subpoenaed, and then the next court date comes, and then my attorney asked me, he's like, ask her if she'll come to court. So I asked her, and she's like, I'd rather not. So I told him, I was like, she said she'd rather not. And he's like, well, there's nothing we can do about it. What the hell is the purpose of a goddamn subpoena then? Is a subpoena not for you to have to fucking be there? And that's the thing too. Supposedly, it got to a point where I heard from shitheads, is the best way to word it, just people, word of mouth, a few years ago, that my meth head ex, or whatever, this dude, Adam, that I had a kid with and everything, supposedly his mom was working in fucking government office or some type of shit. Or working in the courthouse or some type of shit like that. That's what I heard, okay? Then I seen that she was working at IHOP, okay? So I'm just like, who's lying to who and what the fuck is going on and where's the brain fuck and all this? But then what it is she's like got a friend or her neighbor or something dealing with the courts and all kinds of shit or what the fuck ever type shit and everything and stuff. And I'm just like, and around that time, that was like years ago or whatever, that was the first time that anything ever happened, I got called in for fucking jury duty. I don't even vote or anything, haven't voted, I haven't even had a fucking license until just November. My life has been shit, okay? I don't have anybody helping me. I'm literally sunk in this shithole of a town with people's judgments ringing out their fucking assholes and ears or whatever, and that's what they live by, judgments. Fuck rules, fuck laws, fuck the proper way to treat people, fuck respect, fuck manners. No, just your opinion, ride on that horse until it dies, And unfortunately, opinions are like assholes, and everybody's got one, and so, your asshole don't fucking go away until you've been dead and rotten and ate up by bugs, so opinions don't go away until you're fucking dead. Anyways. God, I'm so irritated. I'm so tired. So I'm getting depressed again. And it's like, I really don't want to. It's like, I really don't need to. But anyways, I'm going to label this video Help Me. Because I don't know what the fuck else to label it. Because I'm tired of this shit. But, anyways, so I got called in jury duty years ago or whatever. And I was nervous as shit, you know. I've never been to anything like that or whatever. Granted, I've been to court a few times over child support, but he would never show up, so it just kept, you know, and all this and everything. And I was never really pushing for it anyways, because the only reason I ever even went for it was because my parents were like, you have to or we're going to kick you out. Well, now I'm out on my own, and I'm just like, whatever. It don't matter. If he pays, he pays. If he don't, he don't. Whatever. He's always going to be behind. It doesn't matter, you know. And, so anyways, fast forward all this back to now, my kid being gone and the therapist not showing up and the attorney being like, well, if she don't want to show up, then, you know, there's nothing we can do about it and stuff. And us going into court that last time, which was Easter, or let's see, we went Valentine's Day. What? And that's the thing too, why y'all always got me coming to fucking court on Valentine's Day? And then I get that it's because I filed for child support on Valentine's Day. And maybe y'all think I'm an asshole. And maybe y'all like Adam. And maybe, you know, the government here is corrupt and everything. The system's corrupt. I don't know. I don't give a shit. But I didn't file for child support on Adam because I wanted to on Valentine's Day. Okay? That's the only day my mom would take me. She did that shit on purpose. And it's like, I'm pretty sure it was Valentine's Day. Or if it wasn't Valentine's Day, then we went up there the first time to talk to them on Valentine's Day, and then we filed the next week. But I'm pretty sure we filed on Valentine's Day. I've went 2 times for child support court on Valentine's Day, I believe, over the years. And then the other times, it's been just different times. Just different dates. As a matter of fact, I think one time it was even July 4th. No, I don't know if it was or not. Or maybe it was just my birthday or something. Or I don't know. If some other type of something to me, you know, if not a holiday type situation or whatever. And then, you make me go dealing with my kid. On Valentine's Day. And then, what was it? Was it Easter? That we went again? Or maybe it wasn't Valentine's Day. Maybe it was Easter. I can't remember. Let's see. Because I bought her, I can't even think. A devotional, book. And some French fries. Because she loves French fries. And then I couldn't even give it to her beforehand because my parents and nobody was listening to me. It's like I was just ignored. And so by the time she got her food, it was cold. Fuck, was it Easter or Valentine's Day? Fuck, I don't even know. It's too much. It's just too much. Everything's just too fucking much. Y'all trying to break me is what I feel like. Why? What the fuck have I done to y'all? What the fuck have I done to anybody? And then, okay, if you don't like me and you don't want me living in this town, then let me fucking drive. Let me fucking get my license, which I have now. Let me get a fucking car. Let me get car insurance. Let me ride around town. Get my shit in order. Let me get the custody back of my damn kid. And I will fucking leave. Because that's all that I've wanted, in all honesty, since I was like fucking 5 years old. Let me leave. Stop doing things that hurt me. Stop making me feel like shit. Karma, whatever. Life. You know, and maybe it's not the courts. Maybe it's not the systems. Maybe it's not any corruption. Maybe it's just shit. And it's just lined it up really bad for me. And if that's the case, then it needs to start being really good. Because I'm really tired of the really bad shit. So tired. Cops came and told me as the ball was dropping New Year's, not this one, but as it was turning from 2017 to 2018, that my kid was being taken, had been taken temporary custody. So on the 1st, as soon as it turns the 1st, January 1st, 2018, I'm told by cops, your child's been taken into temporary custody. And then I have to go to court on the 2nd. I go to work and I'm freaking the fuck out. I'm on the verge of a nervous breakdown. And my coworker, one of them, took me by the hand as I'm crying, trying to talk about what's going on, but trying to not at the same time, and is like, I'll take you. I'll be there for you. And that's the same one that took me to counseling to try to help me to get my kid back. It's like, I feel like, it's like, there's that saying, don't mess with the big dogs. Don't mess with the big dogs. And then that's even like some shit dealing with my fucking landlord type shit. Don't mess with the big dogs. You'll get eat up, What have I even done to mess with y'all? Is the thing. Other than speaking my truth. And if you would just stop doing shit to me. If you would stop having me come to court on fucking Valentine's Day. If you would stop saying rude ass shit to me. If you'd stop treating me a certain way and just treat me like an average Joe. And then it's like, oh, well, you're paranoid. It's all in your head. You're paranoid. Okay, if that's the case. But then again, not, because I'm not paranoid. I just see things. So just go, well, yeah, it did happen on that day. Well, yeah, that is coincidental. Well, yeah, you have had a lot of coincidences happen in your life. But you know what? We're going to go out of our way to make sure you don't have any more if we can help it. Or if you do, it's going to be good ones instead of bad ones. And I understand that nobody can control life. But Jesus Christ, I'm just tired. She's snoring like really bad. One of my dogs is. But I'm going to go ahead and end this video because I don't want to lose it, and I only got like a minute or two left. But I'm going to label this Help Me, and I'm going to post it to my fucking Facebook because I don't know what else to do because I'm tired of the shit. Oh, but anyways, dealing with the cop over there, and it unnerving me and making me feel like, did I do something wrong? You need to come talk to me. I'm sitting out on my porch. You can come talk to me. What is it? And never, and I don't know what the fucking deal is and shit and everything. I talked to somebody and they made me feel better. Like, I'm in this Amino app and it's this chat community. And it took a girl from Italy talking to me. To be like, you shouldn't let people make you feel like that. And she's like, if that would have been me, I would have went over and been like, can I help you? Why are you sitting here? Like, is there something? And this thing too is like Jennifer, the one that's been helping me and stuff, she had to call the cops out because her and the guy she used to live with or whatever, they got into it. But the thing is before the cops got here, she called me, because she's trying to, like everybody or whatever, what's your good qualities and can I steal them from you? Is what I feel like, can I use them to my benefit? And it's like, I don't put up with people's shit. I do to an extent, but then again, I don't. You can never look at me and say, hey, don't you ever defend yourself. Don't you ever speak your truth. You can try to, but I'll just shrug it off and be like, that's your opinion, you're entitled to it. I'm going to go ahead and end this and try to upload it and see if it uploads. And if it doesn't, then I will probably be dead, in all honesty, right about now, the way that I fucking feel. because I couldn't get my other 2 videos to upload earlier today. And I don't know why. And I don't know why my phone wouldn't let me delete, so that way I had memory. I don't know why Messenger was being involved. I don't know what the fucking deal is. And I said probably. So, don't sit there and be like, oh, suicide and all that and everything. No. Don't. Because I'm more stubborn than, but then again, I don't know. I'm just tired. I'm tired of the shit. I just want my kid back. I want to drive. I want to work. And I want a place to call home. Sorry. That's such an inconvenience for everybody. But I really don't give a shit. But I'm going to end it here. And I'll probably, I can't even. But I'll catch you later. I'm going to end it here. See you.